Welcome to Jank Play TCG. My name is Landon, and here we play Jank. How is everyone doing? Today we are going to be going over the set list for Phantasmal Flames. I will be using Poke Beach for this. So, yeah. I'm just going to wait for people to actually show up before we get started here. So, how are all of you doing? I hope well. Yes. All right. Notifications are working. That's good. I do have Discord open. Not up currently. Here it is. So yeah. If you're in the Discord, feel free to say hello there or in the chat on the streaming service that you're watching, whether that's Twitch or YouTube. Okay. Ugh. So are people excited for Phantasmal Flames? I know I sort of am. I've seen some pretty good cards from it so far. I still have a lot of packs to open, so I'm excited to see what we pull from those. But it is a Charizard set, and we all know how Charizard sets usually are. If you think back, like, the previous Charizard set was Obsidian Flames. The one before that was Darkness Ablaze, and the one before that was Burning Shadows, right? And I mean, each of those had some pretty important cards in them, but I wouldn't say those sets were the best of their block, you know? So this is the Mega Evolution block. It's the second set, which is different than previous sets. Charizard set's usually like the third set, you know? Burning Shadows, Darkness Ablaze, and Obsidian Flames were all third sets of those blocks. That's interesting. Stuff you want out? Hey. I think she thought that someone was getting her dinner ready, and she doesn't get dinner for like 45 minutes. So, yeah. Ugh. Here, let me scoot on in. Get in here. See how this is doing. All right. Looks like we are starting Phantasmal Flames full set review. So first off, of course, at number 1, grass type, being Oddish, where for a single grass energy, 20 damage. I like that it's 20 damage. I think that's a good amount for a single energy. Whenever I see single energy 10 damage, I think that's lame. 50 HP is a little low though, especially with Dragapult still in the format for another year. Yeah, that's gonna be rough. Next up we got Gloom, 70 HP, which is kind of low for a stage 1. Obviously it evolves from Oddish. But it's got a single grass energy move called Drooling. It does 20 damage. This attack does 20 damage for each benched Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's. That's pretty good. Wait, 20 damage to each benched Pokemon. Yeah. So it's just a spread attack, which is nice. Shaman would prevent a lot of that damage from going through, but I still think it's pretty good. Especially with Terra Pokemon becoming like less played. I know I just said Dragapult, but you know what I mean, right? Terra Pokemon seem to be seeing less play. So 20 damage to all. I mean, if we think back to Tapu Koko Flying Flip, which was 2 energy, 20 damage to everything. This is sure stage 1 rather than basic, but it's for a single energy, which I kind of like. Let's see if Vileplume builds off of that, right? Here we go. We got Vileplume, stage 2, evolves from Gloom, obviously. For a single energy bomb, 30 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned and asleep. I'm gonna dig that. And then another attack, single grass energy, lively flower, 60 plus damage. If this Pokemon was healed during this turn, this attack does 120 more damage. Not too excited for that, honestly. Healing is kind of difficult, especially since it's already, it only has 150 HP. Most Pokemon are going to one-shot this, right? So there's not going to be damage there to heal. James Ellis, hello, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the chat. We are looking at the full set review of Phantasmal Flames, which comes out in a week and a half, I think. So yeah. Let's see. Let's move on from Vileplume, that whole Oddish line, and we'll take a look at our first Mega Pokemon of the set, Mega Heracross EX. Now, its attack energies are a little disappointing. They're all grass energy, you know? But we do have like Meganium, which can help with these things. But Mega Heracross EX having 280 HP, pretty hefty. We got 2 grass energy, Panzer Horn, 100 plus damage. If this Pokemon was damaged by an attack during your opponent's last turn, this attack does that much more damage. Whoo, that's a lot. Wow. Essential. Hey there. How are you? Welcome to the chat. That can be quite a bit. So that's so interesting. Oh my gosh. So if your opponent doesn't one-shot Mega Heracross, Mega Heracross can come back and do 100 more damage than what you did, and it can even heal off that damage before it does that damage. So if you get Meganium out there, which doubles the grass energy, this actually becomes a 1 energy attack. So then you can just play, Wally's Compassion to fully heal your Mega Heracross, and then attack and deal that much more damage. And it's just fantastic. This thing is ridiculous. I like that Panzer Horn. Let's see if the second attack lives up to the hype of the first attack, right? So for 3 energy, or 2 if you're using Meganium, Mountain Thrust. 170 damage, discard 2 cards from your opponent's deck. I don't love it. Like, sure, that discard, James Ellis asking what my favorite Pokemon is. That is Shroomish. The wonderful, amazing Shroomish. But Mega Heracross, the Mountain Thrust attack, I don't see it being too important. Sure, you can do 170 if your opponent hasn't attacked you yet to set you up for Panzer Horn. You do discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck, which might come in handy at some point, but it's just too situational in my opinion, where I'm not loving it. But yeah, I think Mega Heracross does have some play there with the Panzer Horn and with the Wally's Compassion, Bravery Charm. Is that what it's called? Oh man, there's been so many cards. Increases 50 HP on basic Pokemon, which Mega Heracross is. So yeah, I dig Mega Heracross. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be so much fun. And then you can like throw on, let's say, well, I guess if you're playing the Bravery Charm, you can't throw on another tool. But if you aren't playing that, you can throw on, let's say Maximum Belt, right? And do 50 more damage to EXs. So that's 150 to the EX, plus the 200 that Dragapult does, and that's a one-shot on a Dragapult EX. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, next up, another one of my favorite lines, and this line I see in water types a lot. Grass types, I feel like it's been a while for Lotad to be a grass type, but let's check this out, right? So Lotad, the basic, 70 HP, which means you can use Buddy Buddy, which is great. For 2 energy, does Headbutt for 30 damage. I'm glad that it's not 20. Don't get me wrong there. I wish it was 40. I just think 20 damage per energy makes a lot more sense. Cannibal Gun, yes, finally a good live. Thanks. I hope you enjoy yourself here in this live. So Lotad 30 damage is fine, nothing too great there. Lombre, which evolves from Lotad, 2 energy as well, 30 damage. Heal 30 from this Pokemon. Kinda lame, I'm not gonna lie. The 90 HP makes me think of Level Ball if we ever get that thing back, which I hope we do. But this Mega Drain attack is really lame. It does the same amount of damage as your basic. Oh, but you get to heal some. If anything's doing damage to this Lombre, it's knocking it out, right? Like, there's gonna be so few instances where Mega Drain is actually good that I don't see a purpose behind it, you know? So let's just keep moving. We get Ludicolo. I love Ludicolo. Stage 2 evolves from Lombre, obviously. 160 HP, that's better than the Vileplume we saw. But it has this exciting healing ability. Once during your turn, if you have a Grass Mega Pokemon in play, you may heal 60 damage from one of your Pokemon. So the way this is written, and I don't know, maybe the official translation will be written differently, but the way that this is written is, as long as you have a Grass Mega Pokemon in play, you can heal any of your Pokemon by 60. And 60 is an alright number. I'm glad it's not limited, like, only once per turn or whatever. Like, if you have 4 Ludicolos out, you can use this 4 times. That's 240 damage healed, which can be significant. But who the heck is going to get 4 Ludicolos out in the field? I think there are more efficient healers in things, what was it, like Shuckle or Swadloon? I think they are more efficient healers than Ludicolo. I think it's just asking too much. And then 2 energy, knockdown 120 is just worthless. I'm sorry. But 2 energy on a stage 2, and you can't even one-shot your own self if you're in a mirror match. Like, that's just, it's sad, honestly. Alright, let's check out this Genesect, not an EX, just a regular old Genesect. Last good regular Genesect that we had, not an EX, not a V, not a whatever, I believe was Shining Genesect. So let's see if this holds a candle to Shining Genesect. For a single grass energy, we Bugs Cannon. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon. This attack does 20 damage to it for each grass energy attached to this Pokemon. That can be intense, especially with Meganium doubling all your grass energy. The part where it fails for me is A, Shaman will just block this. And B, it's only 20. If we could have upped that to like 30, I think it would have been even, like 30 is a good number. 40 would be a magnificent number. 50 would be a holy cow number. This is amazing. Where 20 is just like, yeah, who cares, right? Gloom for a single energy does 20 to all of their basic Pokemon. This for a single energy will do 20 damage, for 2 energy 40 damage, for 3 energy 60 damage, and it doesn't really get to a good number for a while, which a good number I would say would be at least 100, right? So you need 5 energy or 3 with Meganium out, and that just seems like a bit too much currently. Its other attack for 3 energy, 110 damage. 110 doesn't even knock itself out, and it's just really low. You know, I understand sometimes you're going to need 110 damage done. You're going to need to do some sort of damage, and maybe Bug Cannon isn't powered up. Maybe you do have 3 energy or 2 with the Meganium. 110 just isn't quite enough to make me excited to play this, you know? 150, that would have been a difference. Next up, we've got Nimble here. Single grass energy, flail around, 10 times damage, flip 3 coins. This attack does 10 damage for each heads. I'm glad that it's like flip 3 coins. I still think it's a little low on the damage count. If it was like flip until you get tails, technically that's a worse effect than this. So I do like that it's flip 3 coins. I just don't love the fact that, like, I need to put my phone down because it's annoying me. But if it goes off, it's going to annoy me too if it's on the table. Oh my gosh. There. Sorry. So overall, it's fine. It's a 50 HP basic, which is low, but fine. Okay, so low kicks here. I've been wanting a good low kicks. I've been hoping for low kicks that can actually form a deck around. Is this it? Low kick stage 1 evolves from Nimble for a single grass energy, 30 damage, not great. For 3 colorless, this brings up Ignition Energy, which you like attach to, and then at the end of your turn you discard it. Jump Shot, 150 damage, shuffle this Pokemon, and all cards attached to it into your deck. You would technically shuffle the Ignition Energy into your deck before it discards itself, meaning you don't lose it. Yo, this low kicks could actually be good. Plus it's doing 150 damage, which is a decent amount. You throw on Maximum Belt and you're one-shotting that Dark Charizard EX. Love this low kicks. I might build this. Let's see. And if it says it's uncommon, if it stays uncommon here, that's going to be a amazing popper deck in my opinion. So I'm getting goosebumps over this Pokemon. Like, this low kicks is actually good. I love it. All right, next up we get Charmander, the worst Kanto starter. Basic Pokemon, ability Nimble. If this Pokemon has no energy attached to it, its retreat cost is 0, which is nice because its normal retreat cost is 2. 1 energy, 20 damage is fine. Let's check out Charmeleon, who evolves from Charmander. Just a single energy attack, steady fire breathing, 40 damage. See, I like how that stacked up. You know, you're on a stage 1, it needs to do more damage than the basic. It's doing double the damage for the same energy cost, which I really like. And then we've got Mega Charizard EX, the Pokemon for this set, right? This is a Charizard set. This is the Charizard card. For 2 fire energy, Inferno X, discard any amount of fire energy from discard any amount of fire energy from among your Pokemon, and this attack does 90 damage for each card you discarded in this way. My question is, do we have enough fire acceleration, right? I think the best fire acceleration currently is that Dark Charizard EX, which I think is just a better attacker than this Mega Charizard. I'm not gonna lie, it accelerates 3 energy out, right? So if you discard all the energy that Charizard accelerated out, that would be you doing 270 damage, which is not bad. But Heracross had a 280 HP. That's just an example. I know Heracross is weak to this Charizard. That's just an example. But you would, let's say it has that protected glasses that give basic Pokemon no weakness. You would be just missing out on the KO. You would have to use your attachment for turn and discard that as well in order to get that one shot on the Mega Heracross with the protective goggles or whatever it's called. So I'm just not loving this Charizard. I know a lot of people do like Mega Charizard X compared to Mega Charizard Y. I don't know why they didn't give us both X and Y in this set. Maybe they're saving Y for the next set. That would be weird, but that would give us 2 Charizard sets in a row, and I don't know how well that would do, but I would love to see. I think that would be interesting. So yeah, Mega Charizard EX, I'm not a fan of, sorry. Moltres here, it's a basic Pokemon, no fancy EX or none of that, for a single fire energy, fighting wings, 20 plus damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an EX, this attack does 90 more, leading you to doing 110 for 1 energy. I like it. I like it. Plus, weakness can still go into effect. So if you're attacking into a steel Pokemon or into a grass Pokemon or a bug or, whatever, you'll be doing 220 damage for a single energy to a EX. Throw on Maximum Belt to do 50 more damage, you're looking at 160. Doubled for weakness goes into 320, and that is a huge swing, especially if you're like playing against Goldango. I think this Moltres is just amazing, right? Throw in that Maximum Belt, knock out a Goldango. Or a Defiance Band and knock out a Goldango or whatever, right? Like, there's so many options there. I like this Moltres. There's also, that Victini I think only works on evolutions. Never mind. But Moltres, I think, is pretty cool. There is Lurantis? Did it? No. Lilligant has the same ability that old Lurantis had. So there's that Lilligant that could increase your damage further. That might be a fun deck. Just like the Lilligant does work on fire types, right? I know it works on grass, but I think it works on fire types as well. I just gotta pull up a card real quick. You won't see this, of course, but here is Big Dew. Big Dew, there it is. And Lurantis. Yeah, Lurantis, or Lilligant, I'm sorry. Lilligant, a Sunny Day ability, increases your fire Pokemon's attack by 20 damage. So, yes, you could totally increase this Moltres' attack by 20 for each Lilligant you have out. And then you're doing pretty good damage up against fire-weak Pokemon. So I like this Moltres. Alright, next up we got Darumaka. Darumaka. Blazing Ball. 10 plus damage. This deck does 20 damage for 20 more damage for each fire energy attached to this Pokemon. So its attack cost is 3 colorless, which is insanely high, right? But if you have fire energy, nothing but fire energy on there to reach that 3 energy maximum or minimum, that's going to be doing 70 damage, which is pretty good. I still think there's just not good enough fire acceleration to justify this Darumaka, right? Let's check out its evolution, Darmanitan, and we'll see if this is any better. So for 4 energy, which is a heck of a lot, but it's all colorless, maybe Ignition Energy will help. Let's read on. Blazing Ball, 40 plus damage. This attack does 40 more damage for each fire energy attached to this Pokemon. So Ignition Energy is not a good match for this because you're only doing 40 plus 40 for each fire. So even if you evolve into Charizard EX, the dark one, that can accelerate 3 fire energy. You throw it all into Darmanitan. There's the 3. Then you add the 4th energy for your attachment per turn. You can use this attack. Let's see. 40 times 4. Oh my gosh. Why is my brain not working right now? Isn't that 160? Yeah, that's 160 damage. Plus the 40 base. You're doing 200 damage, which isn't bad. But why aren't you just attacking with the Charizard then? Why are you having another stage 1 in your deck to, like... Yeah, it just seems overly complicated, where the Charizard by itself would probably just be better. Next up, we got Reshiram here. Basic Pokemon. Single fire energy. Flame, 30 damage. Pretty good. 4 fire energy, which is a lot. Burning Flare, 240 damage. This attack does 60 damage to itself. 240 is insanely high. 4 fire energy is a lot. So I don't know if that's really worth it, but I just had a quick glance down here at Oricorio EX. This might be the answer that we need for all these fire types that need an insanely high amount of energy here. Let's read on with its ability, Excited Turbo. Right, we're already on to the Oricorio EX. Enough about Reshiram. Reshiram's good. 240 damage is good if you can accelerate energy. So, Oricorio EX ability, Excited Turbo, as often as you like during your turn. If you have any Fire Mega Evolution Pokemon EX in play, you may use this ability. Attach a basic Fire Energy card from your hand to one of your benched Pokemon. The interesting thing about this is that it is not limited. So if you have more Oricorio out, you can accelerate more energy, which is freaking interesting. Ouch, shoulder. Oh my gosh. Because I got this mega camera up looking at me right here. It's in my store, TCG link in the description. But I got this mega camera, right? So for single energy, it's pretty good. If your opponent's active Pokemon is burned, you do 240 damage, right? That's pretty good. But it's also got this 4 energy attack where it does 280, which is like, oh geez, that's so hard to power up. Not with Oricorio. Get 2 Oricorio out, and after 2 turns you can power up that 280 attack if you can't if you can't burn your opponent. So that's interesting. It doesn't have to attach to a Mega Evolution Pokemon, which is important, but it still has to be on your bench when you accelerate it, and you still have to have a Mega Pokemon in play. I heard Meowth. You come in? Want to come in, Meowth? Okay. Alright. Hey, Meowth. Bud? What's up? He's loud. You guys hearing him? He is loud. Hey, bud. Oh. Okay, you want back out now? Cats. Go ahead, Meow. No, you want to stay. Okay. Oh my gosh. I closed the door and he cries. Meow, I love you. The Oricorio for 3 energy, Fire Wing, 110 damage. Just not good enough. Sorry. Charcadet. Alright. Let's see. I already know this rule edge of the set is insane. Let's see how the Charcadet is, right? Basic Pokemon, 70 HP. 1 fire energy, gather power, search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. I would say that was bad. I would have rather accelerated them onto the field if I didn't know what Cerule Edge already did. But let's finish up with Charcadet. That gather power attack is actually good. I'll get to it in a second. But Chop, for a single fire energy, doing 10 damage is lame. Lame as heck. Alright, the Cerule Edge, for a single fire energy, Purgatory Slash, 220 damage, discard 4 basic fire energy cards from your hand, or this attack does nothing. 220 damage on a stage 1 for a single energy is insane. You have to discard 4 energy or else the attack does nothing, but then you can easily recover that 4 energy with superior energy retrieval. So I think Cerule Edge is just flat out good. 220 is a decent amount. Sadly though, you're not one-shotting anything you're not weak that's not weak to you, right? Unless it's a non-EX. Basic EXs, non-megas, you're probably getting as well. Except for like Raging Bolt. Or you would knock out the Teal Mask Pokemon. So yeah. Unless they've got Bravery Charm, I guess. And as long as it's not the grass one. But yeah, I do like this Cerule Edge. I do think it's very powerful. I think it's going to be a nice rogue deck. I don't think it's going to take off in any major way, sadly. You might see someone playing this at locals and have a lot of fun with it, but I don't think you'll see anyone playing it in a serious tournament, sadly. Alright, we're already on to water Pokemon. 30 minutes into this live and we're on water types. Let's go. Seal. 80 HP, which is important because that means you can't buddy it. So that just means Nest Ball, Artisan to get this thing out. 2 energy, Bubble, 20 damage, heal 20 from this Pokemon. I don't like these attacks. Like, why not just make it 40 damage? If it was just 40 damage, beautiful. But because it's heal 20 from this Pokemon, that means you're relying on a weak attack hitting this Pokemon, and then hitting them with a weak attack to heal off that weak attack's damage. Like, it's just pathetic. I'm sorry, I gotta say it. Alright, let's see. We got Dewgong here with the ability Thick Fat. This Pokemon takes 30 less damage from the attacks of your opponent's fire and water Pokemon. Okay, that seems fair. Minus 30 against fire and water. Minus 30 if your opponent is attacking with fire or water, which can be decent. You've got 130 HP, which I don't think brings it up to like insane levels, but that would give it an effective HP of 160 up against fire and water. I don't think it's great, but it's not bad. 2 water energy, Slam 70 times. Why not 70 plus? Flip 2 coins, this attack does 70 damage for each heads. If it was 70 plus flip 2 coins, 70 for each, so you had the opportunity to do 210 damage, this would have been a good card, a decent card. But the fact that it maxes out at 140 is just pathetic. Come on, Dugong. Come on. You can do better. All right, we got Swinub here. The Swinub line. Let's get started looking at the basic with 70 HP. So, buddyable, which is nice. A single energy, 10 damage. 2 energy, 20 damage. You see this often. I don't like this. Single energy should be 20 damage. 2 energy should be 30 or 40. It's just not good, right? But it evolves. So, Paloswine. 100 HP. Evolves from Swinub. Yeah. 2 colorless energy. Rising Lunge, 30 plus damage, flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 30 more damage. So it's 2 energy, and you might do 60, you might do 30. Kind of lame. The 2 colorless, I don't think is great. But you know what? Let's continue on. For 3 energy, like the 2 colorless doesn't make it any better. That's what I mean when I say that. But the 3 energy, 1 water, 2 colorless, Frost Smash, 70 damage, still not interesting. At the very least, it will knock out opposing Swinubs, and a lot of Pokemon are 70 HP or lower, although we are seeing the more frequent 80 HP basics, evolving basics, showing up, which Paloswine would not knock out. Interesting. It's right on that line, you know? But for 3 energy, I think is just too much. If this was 1 energy and this was 2 energy, I'd be there. I'd be like, yeah, this is going to be fun. And then we got Mamoswine, shout out PTCG Radio, an awesome band that has helped me with my YouTube career. Ross Gilbert, fantastic. He loves Mamoswine, and I can see why. This Mamoswine looks awesome. Love it. Is Mamoswine a Ninja Turtle? That's a question that you got to answer yourself. But for 3 energy, colorless, which brings up Ignition Energy, Wreck, that's 120 plus damage. If there's a stadium in play, this attack does 120 more damage, then discard the stadium. I kind of love it, honestly. It not only disrupts your opponent's stadiums, but it's super easy to feed in the fact that you can play down your own stadiums in order to do that extra damage, which just makes it better overall. So I do like that. Ignition Energies, I feel like is going to be wasted here. But if we take a look at the other attack, 1 water, 3 colorless, Blizzard Edge, 200 damage, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. Ignition Energy would count as those 2 energy, which means you would actually only be discarding 1 energy card to satisfy that. So that is an option. It does only do 200. That would have to be on the turns where you don't have a stadium in place for some reason. Otherwise, you're using Wreck, I think, every time. So Wreck seems fun. 4 retreat cost does bring up the Heavy Baton tool. So that is something you're going to have to keep an eye out for. Yeah. All right, next up, we got Suicune, basic Pokemon, 130 HP, 2 water energy, Crystal Force, 30 plus damage. If you have 3 or more water energy in play, this attack does 90 more damage. So you just need 1 extra water attached, then this attack is calling for, which is interesting. I like these moves because like it makes me think of Sandy Shocks and Soul Rock from last set, although that was a different if situation. But you get what I mean, is like 30 damage plus extra damage if you've got this thing in play. I like how this attack works out. I'm sad that it's only 120 damage. You can't even knock out an opposing Suicune with 120. But overall, it's not bad. I would have preferred it to be 1 water energy attack, honestly. That way it's encouraging you to set up other Pokemon, and this would have been a real fun early game attacker. Right now, since it requires 2 energy, and as far as I know, there's no crazy water acceleration, it's just not not rocking it for me, you know? All right, next up, we've got Pit Plub, the 70 HP penguin Pokemon that's just adorable. For a single energy, colorless energy to be exact, call for support. Search your deck for a supporter card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Very interesting. Sorry. Sorry. Throat. Very interesting. Why does it search for a supporter card? I'm not 100% sure. I know one reason why someone used it in a pre-release. Varios in the Discord, shout out to you at your pre-release, running this Pit Plub and running a Stage 1 Dark Mega Evolution and a bunch of Dark Energy and that supporter that lets you cheat Dark Pokemon out. That was hilarious. I'm sad you didn't get that to work ever, but it was awesome. Although I usually hate people for running those types of strategies, that one was actually pretty funny. All right, next up we got Prinplup here. Evolves from Piplup, single energy, 20 damage, Peck, 3 energy, aim and dive. This attack does 70 damage to your opponent, to one of your opponent's Pokemon. That's interesting because it will let you target down some evolving basics, which I like. That 70 damage seems to be very key here, you know? But yeah, I do like that with the Piplup there being able to hit the bench, which is interesting. It all being colorless, I feel like 3 is too much, but I understand where 2 colorless would be too little. I just think it should have required a water energy. Now, I can see here that this Prinplup evolves into a steel type Empoleon, because Empoleon is not the next Pokemon on the list. So that might answer some questions for us. That is probably why all of its attacks are colorless, is because you're probably going to want metal energy for its evolution. So you won't want to have to run water for this, which I get, but it's still, I would have preferred this to be 2 water energy rather than 3 colorless. But yeah. All right, next up we've got Rotom EX, a lightning Pokemon with 190 HP, which is low for EXs. Usually EXs, now there are some, there's like Squawkabilly, which is 160, but recently, within the last 2 years, they've really settled on basic EXs having 210 hit points, which is nice because that's 10 more hit points than Dragapult does damage, right? So Rotom EX coming down to 190 is a little hurtful in my opinion. But it's got this ability, Multi-Adapter. Your Pokemon with Rotom in their name may have up to 2 Pokemon tools attached to them. If this Pokemon loses this ability, discard Pokemon tools from your Pokemon until only 1 remains. I am personally excited for this because I already have a Rotom deck built. It's not a great deck, but I love Rotom. So I have a Rotom deck built, and this Rotom EX is going to make that Rotom deck better. It's going to make the Rotoms better. It's a weakness box, right? You're hitting 4 different types of weaknesses. Grass lets you hit Mow. Lightning regular Rotom would let you hit lightning. Heat Rotom, Oven Rotom, whatever it's called, lets you do fire, and Fridge or Ice one, whatever, or Wash is, Fridge is the ice one, Wash is the water one. That lets you hit water weakness, right? So you can hit those 4 weaknesses. This just increases the number of tools. Those Rotoms do more damage the more tools that are in play. So this just increases that to where your Rotoms should be doing pretty good damage. And yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Probably won't be a meta deck, but I think it'll be a fun one. All right, Yomper here. Yomper is a good little boy there. And for 2 energy, play rough, 20 plus, flip a flip coin. If heads, this attack does 20 more damage. So you have a chance to do the 40. I would say 30 is the bare minimum for a 2 energy attack on a basic. So it's not fulfilling that, but you might hit 40. So you're averaging 30. So like it kind of does bare minimum. I've shrunk the screen so you guys don't see the ads. The ads are kind of weird. Not gonna lie. Right now it's like HBO Max stuff and whatnot, but I had some creepy ladies staring at me. She's gone now. But thankfully you guys don't see these ads. It's a bit obnoxious. Sorry, Poke Beach. But yeah, so Yomper seems decent. Let's take a look at Bolton, which evolves from Yomper, which has 130 HP, 2 energy, nice. Electron, 70 plus damage. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 70 more damage. I like that it does 70 basic, like, damage. That means you're knocking out those evolving basics. Flip a coin, you're doing 140 on a heads. At least you're knocking out an opposing Bolton, right? So this is decent. This might be like a fun play in Popper. Since it's common, I'm sure it probably won't go up to rare in English, but you never know. In Popper, this could be fun, especially since like Corviknight was wrecking havoc. Hop's Corviknight was wrecking havoc in Popper, and it's weak to lightning, and this does lightning, and so it would be a nice, just Aurora energy, whatever energy, and flip heads, and you're knocking it out, right? So yeah, I like this Bolton, but it's not good, if that makes sense, like in standard. All right, let's check out Palmy, and it looks like we're getting the whole Evo line here. So I wonder what this whole Evo line is going to bring us. So with Palmy, for a single lightning energy growl during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks of the defending Pokemon. That gives you that opportunity to possibly survive a hit in order to evolve the following turn, which I like. I think that's good. That's unique. 30 less damage is also a newer number. Usually it's been like 20 less damage. But 30 less damage is a newer number, more significant number, gives Palmy an effective HP of 90, which is pretty nice, since we're talking about all these Pokemon that are able to hit 70, right? So Palmy could keep itself alive. Then we've got the other attack, single lightning energy, tiny spark, 10 damage. Who cares? That's pointless. Palmo, its evolution, comes in with 90 HP, again, making me think of Level Ball. If you want a Level Ball reprint, let me know, because I do too. But for 2 lightning energy, 60 damage, that's a decent amount of damage. Not great, but decent. And then we got Palmot here, which is the stage 2, with 140 HP, coming in a little low. 2 lightning energy, voltage fist, 130 damage. You may do 60 damage to this Pokemon. If you do, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. You can do that twice. Without healing. After twice, you're gonna have to heal. And I would recommend Bianca's Devotion? Is it Bianca's Devotion? It might be. Edit. Go to trainers. Go down to bees. Bianca's Devotion. I was right. Look at that. It doesn't happen often, but it happened now. And so if you heal off that damage, then you can continually do Paralyze, which this might be tricky, right? But it does 130, so most likely you're 2 to 3 hit KOing whatever you're attacking, right? So you got that going for you. It's interesting. I don't think it will work, but when it does, boy, is it spicy. So yeah, Palmot is going to be fun. Fun. Next up, we got Mischievous, a basic Pokemon with 70 HP for a single Psychic Energy, does 20 damage. Okay, moving on. We get Mismagius EX, who evolves from Mischievous, with the ability Swirling Spell. If this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, when your opponent switches in a new active Pokemon, it is now confused. I like this. Fans of the channel will know how much I like confusion. I think it's one of the better stats effects in the game, and this is why. Confusion can be that annoying little thing that messes up a whole strategy, just because you flip tails, or just because then you have to retreat and discard energy, right? I like this. It's just so good. It's just so good. It's just so good. Yeah, and like even if you retreat, the new active Pokemon is gonna have confusion. So like this is fantastic. I'm gonna play this. Maybe not seriously, but I'm gonna play it. Let's see. For 2 Psychic Energy, 6 Magic, 150 damage, you may draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. Okay, this might be my next meta deck. Like, holy cow. You throw in a Lily's Clefairy so you can knock out Dragapults. You throw on a Vitality Band and you're one-shotting Dragapults. Whatever they bring into the active becomes their new confused Pokemon. Like, it just seems amazing. It just seems amazing. Yeah, I like it. Miss Magius. Holy cow. Is anyone talking about this card? Because no one I talked to has talked about this card, but to me, this thing's awesome. What a cool card. Next up, we got Snubbull here. Basic Pokemon, 2 energy, 20 damage. That's way too low. It does have 70 HP, so we can at least buddy it. But 20 damage for 2 energy is just way too low. I want that to be 40 damage. 30 is passable. 40 is what should be for 2 energy. Next up, we got Granbull. Evolves from Snubbull, has 130 HP. 2 energy, 50 damage. Bite attack is kind of whatever. 3 energy, finishing blow, 90 plus damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon already has any damage counters on it, this deck does 60 more damage, bring up to 150 damage if they already have damage. Halucha can get the extra damage there, you know? Like, there are ways to get the extra damage there. So, finishing blow, I kind of dig it, you know? Next up, we got Cresselia here. Basic Pokemon with 120 HP. Single Psychic Energy, Overflowing Light. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Psychic Energy cards and attach them to this Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck. Okay. I don't like the fact that it only attaches to Cresselia. I would have preferred if you could attach that energy to any Pokemon. The fact that you attach it to Cresselia, and then Cresselia is sitting in the active spot ready to be attacked, and if it gets knocked out, there goes 3 of your energy, is kind of lame. Not as lame as its other attack, so this Pokemon's just pointless. This is a pointless Pokemon card, because for 3 energy, you're doing 90 damage. Like, what's up? Inferno Dragons 13, yo, what's up? How are you doing? Welcome to the chat. We're just reviewing the entire set for Phantasmal Flames. So yeah, we're on Psychic type, so you've missed quite a bit, but don't worry, you'll be able to watch the recording. Yeah, but yeah, Cresselia is a pointless card in this set, sadly. Next up, we got Meloetta sitting with 90 HP. Again, give us level ball already. I want it. And then we got a Healing Melody. Heal 120 damage from one of your bench Psychic Pokemon. No, that's lame. We've got a Mantike that can do that for 0 energy. And any of your bench Pokemon, not just bench Psychic Pokemon. So Meloetta kind of fails. 2 energy, 50 damage is kind of whatever. 50 damage isn't enough. Inferno Dragons, it's me, Rept Dragons 12. I changed to fit my name. No worries, that's awesome. Glad to see you back. Just curious, Inferno Dragons, are you finding me on Twitch or on YouTube? It all puts in the one chat for me, so I don't know where you're coming from. But I'm just curious. Next up, we got Mega Diancie EX, which is a basic Pokemon with 270 HP. Holy cow. Ability Diamond Coat. This Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks, meaning its HP is basically 300, which is just fantastic. Weak to Metal type because it's a fairy Pokemon that gets printed in the Psychic grouping in the TCG. For 2 Psychic Energy, Garland Ray, 120 times damage. Discard up to 2 energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 120 for each energy discarded in this way. You max out at 140 HP for 2 energy. That's not bad, but then how are you getting the energy back? That's my big question, right? Because you do this attack, you discard both Psychic Energy. Now you gotta get 2 Psychic Energy back on there to do this attack again. So that's my question. How? And I don't have an answer for you. Like, Xatu? Maybe? Is this the Pokemon Xatu's been waiting for? You got a few months to play that deck. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I don't know if it's good. Inferno Dragons, you mind if I shout you out? I got 1K. You may get no subs or a few out of it. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks, Inferno Dragons. I think my channel people should check out Inferno Dragons 13 also. See what they're up. Maybe you'll like it. Professor W, what's your favorite card from the set so far? So far, it's Mega Heracross EX. That thing looks ridiculous. Also, Mismagius EX. Those two are my top 2. I'm probably going to play Mismagius, but I think Heracross is the more fun card. But Mismagius EX just seems like... it seems too good to be true. Seriously. Seriously. Alright, next up we got Mimikyu here. For colorless energy, call for family, search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon, put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. Call for families, always appreciated, especially when you grab more than 1 Pokemon. This grabs 2, which is like the minimum that we want call for family to search for. If you get a call for family that searches for 3, that is amazing. That's the perfect number, but 2 is fine. Then we get for 1 Psychic Energy, Scratch for 20 damage. Fine, whatever. It's fine. Not too interesting. You're playing this for the call for family. You're not playing it for the Scratch. Alright, next up we got Milcery, a basic Pokemon with 50 HP, kind of low, but for a single Psychic Energy. Draining Kiss, 10 damage, heal 10 damage from this Pokemon. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I don't like it. It's got 50 HP. How often is healing 10 damage gonna be like the thing? You know? Like, it just seems... Inferno Dragons letting us know you can search me at Reptidragons 12 because the new @ is kind of crusty right now. No worries. So, search for their old account name. Yeah, you're never going to be healing 10 damage from this Pokemon, and you're never wanting to do 10 damage. Like, it's just too low. I would have just preferred 20 damage, honestly. Forget the healing. We don't need the healing. Just give us 20 damage for a single energy. Alright, Alcremie, can it make this Milcery actually good? Let's find out. For a single Psychic Energy, Sweet Circle, 20 times damage. This attack does 20 damage times the number of Pokemon you have in play. So, if you are not playing Area 0 Under Depths and a Terra Pokemon, that's 5 Pokemon on your bench, the Alcremie in the active using the attack, that's 120. That's kind of low, to be honest. That's kind of low, sadly. Alright, next up we got Zacian, which was one of the pre-release promos, not one of the ones I got, but I did think this one was pretty good when I first looked at it. So let's see now. Zacian has 130 HP as a basic Pokemon. For 2 energy, limit break, 50 plus damage if your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining. This attack does 90 more damage, meaning you're doing 140, which is a good amount. It's a respectable amount. I don't think it's that great. In Popper, maybe, but this is most likely coming through as a rare. And so it won't be Popper legal. It was good in the pre-release format where you play with only 4 prizes. Beyond that, I don't think it's good. Sorry, Zashin. Sorry. Alright, and now we're getting Bramblin. Is this the first Psychic Bramblin card that we're getting? Interesting. Basic Pokemon, 50 HP, single Psychic Energy, sneaky placement, put 1 damage counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon. That's 10 damage. You're just doing 10 damage with more words. Lame. Let's check out Bramblegas here. 100 HP. Stage 1 evolves from Bramblin. Ability, Panic Poison. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may leave your opponent's active Pokemon confused. Oh, it's Panic Prison. I was like, why is it confusion, not poison? It's Panic Prison. My mistake. Okay. That's not nearly as good as Miss Magius EX. Yeah. That's all I have to say. 3 energy, 80 damage is pathetic. Come on. Bramblegas, you deserve better than that. As a stage 1, 3 energy should at least be doing 90 damage. That's 30 damage per energy. And even then I'm saying that's not good. Like, come on. Come on. Come on. Paldean Tauros. Hey, we finally get another Paldean Tauros here. And we're only getting the fighting variant. Interesting. We've already gone through the water and the fire, so we're only getting the fighting element one. Basic Pokemon with 130 HP. For a single fighting energy raging charge, 40 times damage. This attack does 40 damage for each of your Pokemon in play with Tauros in its name that have any damage counters on it. That is good. That is good. Because it's Tauros in the name, so that means you can have 4 Paldean Tauros, 4 regular Tauros in your deck, and as long as they have damage counters, which you can place with Risky Ruins or Calamitous Snowy Mountain, Paldean Tauros will be able to do tons of damage. 40. So let's say you have, 6 Tauros Pokemon in play. The 1 active, 5 on your bench. All of them have damage on them. That is 240 damage, which can knock out basic EXs. Not Mega EXs, sadly, unless you throw on a maximum belt. Then you're doing 290, and that's a much better number. But still, I do like this Paldean Tauros. I think it's interesting. And there might even be some crazy shenanigans you pull off with Area 0 Underdepths. But I don't know. Probably not, but maybe. And then its other attack, 2 fighting energy, double edge, 70 damage. This attack does 20 damage to itself. I understand it needs a damaging self attack to power up its first attack. Yeah, that's basically what this is. If you wanted to know, that's it. Congrats. Now you know the secret. Next up, we got Gligar, which I had in my pre-release kit, and I thought, while Gligar was terrible, Gliscor was pretty nice. So let's get through Gligar here. 1 fighting energy, 10 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon's now poisoned. So it's 20 damage with extra steps. But it could be more if they don't evolve or get out of the active, you know? So it's not terrible. This is like one of the few times I'm saying 10 damage is not bad, is when it's partnered with poison. So it's actually 20 damage. That's the only time 10 damage is acceptable, is when it's actually 20 damage. And then we got Glycer here, single fighting energy, poison circle, 50 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. Retreating is one of the few ways that Pokemon can remove poison from itself, so you're taking away that option, and I like that. I think that is interesting and awesome. So Glycer, I think, could be fun. Definitely in Popper, probably not in Standard, though, sadly. Next up, we got Trapinch here. Fighting Pokemon, 70 HP. For a single fighting energy, double headbutt, flip 2 coins, 10 damage for each heads is terrible. That's a single energy that you can possibly do 0 damage. You're averaging 10 damage. And that's bad. And that's bad. Next up, we got Vibravia. Fighting Pokemon, 90 HP, 2 fighting energy, super vibration, 60 damage. And last off, or not last off, but the last fighting Pokemon we have is Flygon, who, am I to understand, still doesn't have a Mega, which is just insane. Anyways, Flygon here, with the ability Flapping Sand. This is an interesting ability, right? So I'm going to read it all out. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, or if this Pokemon is the active Pokemon, or is in the active spot and is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, you may discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. So when you evolve into Flygon, discard the top 2 of your opponent's deck. When that Flygon gets knocked out, if it was in the active spot and if it was done from damage, you discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. Which is interesting, you know? The 2 fighting where you do 130 damage is pathetic, terrible. I want to refund. No thank you. Alright, here we go. We get Ghastly here. Ghastly, the ghost Pokemon, with the first attack for a single dark energy doing 10 damage. Lame, lame, lame. Haunter here evolves from Ghastly for a single darkness energy, does 40 damage. It's fine. It's serviceable. It's fine. Mega Gengar EX is a little ridiculous. So Mega Gengar EX has 350 HP. Ability Shadow Hiding. Whenever one of your darkness Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon EX, your opponent takes 1 less prize card. This effect does not stack. Meaning, if you are attacking with, if you have nothing but Pokemon EX in your deck, let's say that, right? You got nothing but Pokemon EX in your deck, and you're attacking darkness Pokemon. If Mega Gengar EX is out, and they are only sending out single prize Pokemon, it's actually 0 prize. It's a 0 prize game. You're not getting anything. Yeah. Sorry to be the one to burst your bubble. But yeah, if you're knocking out EX Pokemon, not Megas, just regular EX Pokemon, you're taking 1 prize, not 2. And if you are knocking out a Mega Pokemon, you're taking 2 prizes, not 3. It's good. Mega Gengar is good. There's a reason why they say this effect does not stack. Meaning, it doesn't, you can't have multiple of these abilities out, and then they take 0 prizes for everything, you know? So, yeah, Mega Gengar is so good, they had to nerf it so much, and it's still so freaking good. You know, Mega Gengar is actually already in PTCGL because the starter deck, I shouldn't say starter, the pre-constructed deck of Mega Gengar and Mega Diancie, whatever. Those 2 structure decks have come out already. So Mega Gengar is already in PTCGL, and from what I hear, it's breaking PTCGL. So yeah. And then we've got an attack here, 2 Dark Energy, 230 damage, moving energy from this Pokemon to one of your benched Pokemon. It's good. It's just good. It's good. Russell Borgonia? Russell, welcome to the stream. You love Pokemon, so do we. You are welcome to this chat then. Alright, that's it for Mega Gengar EX. I think it's super good. Yeah, it's just super good. That's all I have to say about it. Next up, we got Murkrow here. For a single darkness energy, 10 plus damage, flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 20 more damage. Okay. So this averages out to 20 damage, is that correct? You're at least doing 10. On a 50-50 shot, you're doing 30. So it averages out to 20. I don't love it, but I'm going to say acceptable. watch yourself, Murkrow. You may not be good. All right, Murkrow evolves into Honchkrow here. Look at this card. Love it. Love it. For a single Dark Energy, Dark Wind, 30 damage, no one cares. It's fine. It's 3 energy, Snipe Feather, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 120 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Hitting the bench for 120? Fine, that's good. 3 energy and you have to discard 2 of it? I understand, like, you know, you can just crisp in those 2 energy back onto Murkrow for the following turn. I don't know. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. It's not great, but like in Popper, let's see. It does not have a rarity. I just heard a loud bang. I think the wife's okay. I hope she's okay. I just heard her. She said she's okay, everyone. We can continue on with the stream. Next up, we got Sableye. 80 HP, meaning you can't use Buddy Buddy for it, but single energy, Angry Claw, 20 damage. That's the bare minimum that I ask. If you have a Stage 2 Darkness Pokemon in play, this attack does 70 more, meaning you're doing 90 damage, which is actually a decent amount. It's like a good one-of in Darkness decks. Even in a Charizard deck, if you're playing Luminous Energy or whatever it's called, Luminous Energy, it's still pretty good because, like, if your opponent just throws out a basic 70 HP Pokemon they're just buying a turn, you can send out Sableye and attack, and then they only get 1 prize back unless you got Mega Gengar out. Then they get 0 prizes back. Like, I think it's good. I think it's actually pretty good. Next up, we got Carvanha. 70 HP Pokemon, so Buddy Buddy's back on the table. Darkness, 1 Darkness Energy. Assault, 30 damage. This Pokemon does 10 damage to itself. So it does damage to itself. I see Mega Sharpedo right here, which is the card that Barrios was playing at the pre-release. But I don't know if it does not have something that states it needs damage on it. Carvanha's gonna be a little lame. I still think 1 energy, 30 damage is good though. So let's check out Mega Sharpedo. First attack for a single Darkness Energy, Greedy Fangs, which is 70 damage, and you draw 2 cards. I kind of dig that. And then we've got 2 Dark Energy, Hungry Jaw, 120 damage. Plus, if this Pokemon has any damage counters on it, this attack does 150 more damage. So that is 270 damage that you can do as long as you have any damage on you. Mega Sharpedo EX has 330 HP. I think it's actually legitimately good. I think there's a reason why people are talking about Mega Sharpedo so much. And Risky Ruins can get you that damage. Can it? Wait, actually, can it? Risky Ruins cannot get you that damage, but Calamitous Snowy Mountain will. I do know that one for sure. Okay, so Mega Sharpedo, we're looking pretty good. I still think Mismagius is the go-to play right now. I just think it's good. Viper, you know what? I dig that art. Holy cow. That's some good art right there. I like it. We don't give enough attention to the non-art cards on how good the art is. You know. So it's a basic Pokemon with the ability Excite Power. If you have a Darkness Pokemon EX in play, this Pokemon's attack do 120 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. For 3 energy, Jet Black Fang for 120, but with that ability, you'd be doing 240. So 3 energy for 240 is not bad. But if you aren't, you gotta have a Dark Pokemon EX in play, which most likely is gonna be your Fezandipity or Gengar, Mega Gengar EX. One of those two would satisfy this, but getting that 3 energy on this Viper is gonna be tough. You know, it's only got 120 HP itself, so someone sees you stacking energy on there, they're going to like try to knock you out. You know what I mean? I feel like something was said. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. Where was I? Right, we're on Absol now. Absol, a fan favorite. Got a Mega in the last set. This set, it's not Mega, it's not EX, it's just a single prize Pokemon. For a single colorless energy, Allure, draw 2 cards. Okay. 2 energy, Dark Cutter, 60 damage. Couldn't you have done 70? 70 and I would have been singing a different tune. 60 is just like, it's passable, but not passable enough, you know? But Allure is fine, whatever. Next up, we got Sandile, you know? It's been a Sandile. Basic Pokemon, 70 HP, so Buddy Buddy is on the table. We get a Darkness Energy, Ram, 10 damage, 2 energy, Rear Kick, 20 damage. Absolutely garbage. Moving on. Korok. Korok. There we go. I think that's the first and only time I will accurately pronounce that name. So for a single Darkness Energy, Bite, 30 damage. For 3 energy, Confront, 60 damage. No. I guess fine. It's whatever. Let's check out Crocodile, because it's been a Crocodile. For a single Darkness Energy, Revenge Fang, 60 plus damage. If one of your Pokemon was knocked out by damage from an attack last turn, this attack does 160 more damage, meaning you're doing 220 damage for a single energy, which is pretty darn good for a stage 2. That's all I have to say. It's pretty darn good. It's not like the best, but it's good. I can see why someone would play this. You know, they knock out a Pokemon, you put up this single prize stage 2 with 170 HP, doing 220 damage to them. Yeah, I can see it. And then for 4 energy, hammer in 160 damage. No, thank you. Actually, that's not terrible. 160 damage is decent, because any dark weak Pokemon, you're doing 320, and 320 is knocking out like a lot of Pokemon. But for 4 energy is where I draw the line. A Darkness and Ignition energy, though, I don't know, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, actually. Next up, we get Toxel, which I've been hatching a lot in Pokemon Go. I don't know why. For a single Darkness Energy, we get Call for Family. As we expect, search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon, put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck, as we expect. 2 Dark Energy, Playful Kick, 2 Energy, 1 Dark, 1 Colorless. Playful Kick, 20 damage. No, that should be 40 at the minimum. Well, 30 at the minimum. 40 is good. 20 is bad. Toxicity has 140 HP, evolves from Toxel, and the ability Bad Upper is another way to get damage onto your Darkness Pokemon. Bad Upper. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for 1 basic Darkness Energy and attach it to one of your bench Darkness Pokemon. If you do, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck. So it's energy acceleration for dark Pokemon. We will have to go back through all dark Pokemon currently in the standard format and see if there's anything that it breaks. I probably will not do that. That sounds like a lot of work. But yeah, that is something to keep in mind. If there's ever been a Darkness Pokemon that you're like, man, I wish I could make that work, Toxicity might be how you make that work. Next up, we got Eternatus. 150 HP for a basic Pokemon, Double Dark, Shatter, 50 damage, discard a stadium in play. That's okay. 3 energy, power rush, 130 damage, flip a coin. If tails during your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. Lame, lame, lame. That is so lame. 130 for 3 energy, and you might not even be able to attack next turn. So lame. I'm sorry, but that's just bad. Hey, look, Empoleon EX. Maybe this will make us feel better. Evolves from Prinplup. We already talked about Prinplup. Hitting 70 on a benched Pokemon, pretty good. The ability, Emperor's Stance. Prevent all effects of attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. Damage is not an effect. Okay. So, all effects. So no poison, no confusion, no paralyze, no damage counters, no you can't attack, no you increase your attack costs, no you can't retreat. None of those effects. In other words, everything I love about the Pokemon trading card game can't affect Empoleon EX. Great. Alright, what's its attack? For 3 energy, 2 metal, 1 colorless, Iron Feather, 210 damage, that's good. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 60 less damage from attacks after applying weakness and resistance. Okay, you throw on the Iron, whatever it was called from last set that meant your metal Pokemon took 30 less. You throw in Full Metal Lab, which makes your metal Pokemon take 30 less. And you've got a beefy boy here. That's impressive. That's just impressive. I think Empoleon EX is going to be a lot of fun. That 3 energy is really the only bad thing about it. Like, seriously. 210 is enough to knock out a Fez, so that's why I say it's good. But yeah, not being affected by effects of attacks is fascinating. And then taking 60 less damage from attacks is also fascinating. So next up we got Bronzor. 1 colorless, Iron Defense, flip a coin. If heads, this Pokemon will not take damage from attacks during your opponent's next turn. Hey, nice. 3 colorless, roll out, 30 damage. That is 10 damage per energy. 1 energy, at minimum, should be 20 damage. That's a bad attack. I'm sorry, even though it's colorless, so ignition energy, although it's not evolution, so no ignition energy. Anyways, Bronzong. Single, colorless energy, triple draw 3 cards. Okay, that's not bad. I would prefer that to be on a basic, but it's not bad. If you need to draw, you gotta draw. And then for 3 colorless, tool drop 40x damage. This attack does 40 damage for each Pokemon tool attached to all your Pokemon in play. And if you got Rotom EX out and any Rotoms out, that can be 2 tools per Rotom. But let's just keep it simple. At 40 times 6 being 240 damage. I like it. I like it. I do. What do you want me to say? I like it. I'm sorry. Not saying that. Togedemaru! One of my favorite Pikachu clones here. Togedemaru, for a single colorless energy, find a friend. You search your deck for a Pokemon reveal, put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. No. That is the worst. A, you only get 1 Pokemon. B, you put it into your hand. C, I guess that means you can grab evolutions, but no. That is not good. That is not good. I'm sorry, Togedemaru. And then for 1 metal energy, you can do 30 damage. While that is what we want to see, it's not good enough to make you playable. Sorry, Togedemaru, but you have been voted out. Duraludon. Hey, look, it's Duraludon. 3 metal energy, Hyper Beam, 70 damage, discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Okay, that's pretty fun. 70 means you're knocking out the evolving basics. And if you aren't, you're disrupting their energy, which is cool. So, Duraludon, I'm happy to say you were not voted out. That's actually pretty legit. I like that. Could be a deck in Popper itself. And that art, whoa! This art is trippy. I love it. Look at that little hyper beam coming out of his mouth. That's just a small hyper beam right there. All right, now we got Archaludon. The evolution with 180 HP evolves from Duraludon, obviously. 3 metal energy, coded attack. 120 damage. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon can't be damaged by attacks from your opponent's basic Pokemon. Huh. I kind of dig this. This is interesting. So you've got the basics there to do energy disruption and knock out evolving basics. But if they aren't evolving their basics, if they're just keeping their basics and attacking, you can evolve into Archaludon, which then gains immunity from basics. And they're both Popper legal. I mean, in the States, they might come out as like one of them being rare, being Archaludon, but if it remains uncommon, they're Popper legal, and that adds more playability to them. That's legit. And with that, we are on colorless Pokemon. Holy cow, we've just got colorless Pokemon and trainers to go, and energy, I guess, if there's any special energy. I don't know if there's special energy. We've been going for an hour and a half. Oof, how do I do it? Jigglypuff, basic Pokemon with 70 HP, so Buddy is on the table. For 1 colorless ball roll, 20x damage, flip a coin until you get tails. This attack does 20 damage times the number of heads, which stinks because that could be 0. 50% of the time, that is going to do 0. That's just too darn bad. If it was 20 plus, I'd be there. I'd be like, yeah, this is actually pretty decent. But 20 times is where you lose me, because you get 1 tails, immediately you're doing 0. And that's going to happen 50% of the time. Oh, wait. Wigglytuff. I just saw the name of the first attack, and holy cow. Wigglytuff here. And evolves from Jigglypuff, has 120 HP, 2 colorless, round, 40 damage, times damage. This attack does 40 damage for each of your Pokemon in play that has the round attack. We already have a whole set of Pokemon that have the round attack. It's Timepole, Palatoad, and Seismitoad. They all have the round attack. Wigglytuff has the same round attack that Palpitoad does, which just makes me like Palpitoad more. I'm not gonna lie, because at least you're hitting a type, so you're hitting something for weakness, where colorless you're hitting nothing for weakness, right? So yeah, I'm sad. Plus, Jigglypuff doesn't have round, which makes me sad, because that means that, yeah, it's less efficient than Palpitoad because Timepole had round. Okay, and then for 3 energy, Seismic Toss, 100 damage. No, thank you, Wigglytuff. Next up, we got Apom. Ambipom's the evolution. This one is Apom. 2 colorless, Astonish, 20 damage. Choose a random card from your opponent's hand. Your opponent reveals that card and shuffles it into their deck. I wish it was discard. If they discarded the card instead, cool. Shuffling into the deck, lame. I mean, it's still good, but lame. Yeah, it's decent. It's low on damage, which is disappointing, but you get that effect, especially if you can get them down to a low hand size, and then you take away something important, like a professor's research. Maybe then this can be good. Right? Let's see. Ambipom. There we go. 2 colorless, slap, 50 damage. Fine. 3 colorless dual tail. Discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 60 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. That's ignition energy ready. 60 damage. While it won't knock out most evolving Pokemon, it will knock out a few of them, which could make this super important. Like, turn 2, going first, you can evolve into Ambipom, you can play down Ignition Energy, discard it, and deal 60 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. Maybe that's all they got. And you win. That's happened. That's happened. Alright, here we go. We got Smeargle. Smeargle, however you want to say it. 80 HP, so no Buddy Poffin. 1 single energy catch. Flip 3 coins. For each heads, attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to your bench Pokemon in any way you like. I kind of dig it. That's 1.5 energy on average. And yeah, the only downside is when you hit 3 tails, even then you're attaching no energy. If you hit 1 heads, you're just attaching the energy that you would have been attaching to that Pokemon if you didn't attach it to Smeargle. So it's the 2 and 3 heads that we really want to look at. So 50% of the time, this is good. 50% of the time, it's neutral to negative. And then for 2 energy, 40 damage. Lame. I mean, it's the bare minimum, what we expect. 2 energy, 20 damage per energy, 40 damage. Yeah. Zigzag Goon. Like this guy, for some strange reason. 1 colorless attack, surprise attack, 30 damage, flip a coin. If tails, this attack does nothing. Okay, it's fine. Linoon has an ability. Ooh. Linoon evolves from Zigzagoon and has 100 HP, just missing that level ball cutoff. Ability, Excite Dash. If this Pokemon is on your bench and you have a Pokemon EX in play, you may use this ability. Switch this Pokemon with your active Pokemon. Okay, so it can rush in to the active. You throw on something to give it free retreat. It's 1 energy retreat, you know, but you throw in an air balloon and then you can retreat to what you want. Could be good. And then for a single energy slash 70 damage, at least you're getting evolving basics for the most part. That's good. Next up, we got Baneri. We got 1 colorless, run around, switch this Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. Okay. And 2 energy, kick 20 damage. The thing is, I say 20 damage per energy. And I say that because at least most of the time you're hitting weakness. This you're not even hitting weakness on. Like, you're not hitting weakness with kick. So why can't it be 40? Why can't it be 40? You'll never be able to answer it. Mega Lopunny EX. This is what we're all here for, right? Mega Lopunny EX evolves from Baneri. Single colorless energy. Gale Thrust. 60 plus damage. If this Pokemon is moved from your bench to the active spot this turn, this attack does 170 more damage, meaning it does 230 damage, which is decent. For a single energy on a 330 HP stage 1 Pokemon. I like it. I think it's pretty good. 2 energy, Spike Hopper, 160 damage. This attack damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. Is also pretty good. That means if your opponent has Mimikyu out and is just going, hey, when you get a second energy on your Mega Lopunny, you can just attack that Mimikyu because it hits through effects. I like it. And with that, we are done with all the Pokemon cards in this set. Now we are onto the trainer cards, which always get slightly more complicated. So first up, we got Battle Coliseum. Pokemon Coliseum remake? No, don't even joke with that. It's coming to the GameCube thing, right? Though, like, that's what it's doing. The GameCube app on the Switch too. Like, it's coming to that, right? Please. Prevent all damage counters from being placed on benched Pokemon. both yours and your opponent's, by effects of attacks and abilities from your opponent's Pokemon. Damage is not an effect. Finally, they give us something to try to counter Dragapult. It's not a good counter. It's actually a bad counter because Dragapult will now just play 4 stadiums just to counter your Battle Coliseum. Yeah, it's supposed to be good, but I don't think it is, sadly. I don't think it's the answer we're looking for. But we do have Dawn coming, which is a trainer, supporter. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon, a Stage 1 Pokemon, and a Stage 2 Pokemon. Reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Which is pretty good. If you are playing a Grass Stage 2 Pokemon, Dawn is just like, hey, get me and the Force of Vitality, and you've got a Meganium out in 1 turn. Congratulations. I knew you could do it. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Other types, sure, you'll have the Stage 2 in your hand for the following turn, right? Because you're going to want to grab the Stage 1 that you can evolve that turn, grab a basic for backup, then you grab a Stage 2. So you get the basic for backup, you got the Stage 1 in play next turn, maybe you got Rare Candy in hand, you're getting that Stage 2 out regardless of what happens, you know? But I like it. I do like Dawn. I think that is a good card. Fire Breather. Porter. Search your deck for up to 7 basic fire energy cards. Put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. This is what makes Rule Edge playable. This and Superior Energy Retrieval. Oh man. Dinner. Causing gas. So, you know, uncomfortable. But yeah, Fire Breather is good for fire decks. It just gets energy into your hand, which is what you want. Grimsley's Move. Shogunum. Is that stadium uncommon? It could be used to cook up some nice popper shenanigans. The Battle Coliseum, it should be uncommon. Most trainers are uncommon. But I don't know what it would do in popper specifically. Prevent all damage counters from being placed on benched Pokemon. Shogunium, I wait to hear back from you. There's a slight delay with the stream and everything. Then you gotta type out your response, and so that takes a while. So I understand. I'm looking forward to your response. Let's see. We get Grimsley's Move. This supporter breaks dark types. This is why Mega Gengar is good. This is why things are good. It's ridiculous. Grimsley's Move. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose a Darkness Pokemon you find there. Put it onto your bench. Shuffle the other cards face down and put them on the bottom of your deck. You can't play this card on your first turn. Fair. With the first turn thing. But this is how you cheat out Dark Stage 2s. Or Stage 1s, but mostly Stage 2s. So yeah. Shogunium, a possible counter to your last poison deck and some other counter-based decks like the Iselgor one. I'm not sure how. I'll read it again. Battle Coliseum. Prevent all damage counters from being placed on benched Pokemon by effects of attacks and abilities from their opponent's Pokemon. So effects still happen, but you cannot place damage counters. Does that make sense? Anyways, Grimsley's Move is going to break dark Pokemon. So we know we're in an era of dark Pokemon. But you know the good thing about dark Pokemon? Some of them are weak to grass. That's good. The others are weak to fighting, which is fine. Heat Burner. Item card. You must discard a basic fire energy card from your hand to play this card. Choose a Pokemon tool, special energy, or stadium card your opponent has in play and discard it. I like it because it's got so much variety in it. It's versatile, some would say. You know, it's good. It's good. It can target so much. It can't target your own stadium cards in play, which I don't like, but it can target your opponent's stadium cards, which I do like. Or special energy or Pokemon tool. I think it's good. Jumbo Ice. Heal 80 damage from your active Pokemon that has 3 or more energy attached. You may play as many item cards. Oh, right. Synergizes well with recursive cards. Okay. Are you talking about Heat Burner? Heat Burner does that? Like Super Rod. Oh. Okay. Maybe that's Grimsley's move that you're talking about? Because you put that Darkness Pokemon back in your deck, then you might be able to cheat it back out. So Jumbo Ice, heal 80 damage from your active Pokemon. Oh, Heat Burner. Well, yeah, it will discard your opponent's stuff and, you know, put a fire energy on your discard, so anything that utilizes that will be good. Yes. I'm there with you. I'm on the same page now. Got it. Jumbo Ice. So the important thing about this, I want to make sure I say, is you can attach Ignition Energy to a Pokemon, heal it for 80 because at that moment it's got 3 energy attached, and then Ignition Energy will discard at the end of turn. So you would have at least gotten the heal 80. Right? Yeah. Punk Helmet. This is a tool. If the Darkness Pokemon this tool is attached to is in the active spot, and it's damaged in an attack by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, put 4 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. It's just double Rocky Helmet. That's it. I almost said Rocky Road because of the previous item being Jumbo Ice Cream, but it's just double Rocky Helmet. Which is not bad. It's dark exclusive, but it's not bad. Sacred Charm. The Pokemon this card is attached to takes 30 less damage from your opponent's Pokemon that have any abilities. Nice. So that's another 30 less damage thing that Empoleon can take advantage of, which is just ridiculous with how much it's got. Vertigo Valley is a stadium card. Confused Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's, don't recover from confusion when they evolve or devolve. Mismagius EX, again, coming through as like so good. Such a good Wondrous Patch, which also works on Magius because it's Psychic type. Attach a basic Psychic Energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Psychic Pokemon. Okay, that's it. We got through the whole set, so everyone pat yourselves on the back. I'm proud of you. Shogun Vertigo Valley is kind of broken though. Yeah, that's the whole point. It's so good. It is so freaking good. And you you mix it with Mismagius EX. As soon as I get there. I'm almost there. Nope, there it is. With Mismagius EX, that has the ability Swirling Spell, right? If this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, when your opponent switches in a new Pokemon, it is now confused. You have Mismagius EX out, and you have that stadium out, and if they can't replace that stadium, no matter what, they are confused. 50% of the attacks that they're going to make are going to hit themselves. And then you're doing 150, throw on a Vitality Band and put a Lily's Clefairy on the bench, and you're one-shotting a Dragapult. Like, Come on. Come on. This Miss Magius is going to be so freaking good. And that Miss Magius for those 2 Psychic Energy, doing that 150, doubled for weakness with Lily's Clefairy. You may draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand, so it's consistency as well. So you have consistency, you have disruption and confusion, and you have the power to one-shot one of the best decks in the format. What is bad about this card? That it gives up 2 prizes? Like, holy cow. Dragapult is kind of cooked with this upcoming set. Kind of. Holy cow. Holy cow. I wish this set was in PTCGL because I would be playing Miss Magius tonight. Looks like such a good card. And then here's some secret rares that they've got for us. The special arts, if you will. The scans aren't the greatest, but you know, there's a few. I want this Meowth. This Meowth. I want. I needs. Give me's. Let's see what else. This Wigglytuff looks funny with the Jigglypuff surrounding it. Very nice. What am I gonna say? The Rotom. Where's the Rotom? Oh, that Fire Breather actually looks pretty cool. Huh. And that Wondrous Patch is a handy card. I liked it pretty much. Quiet Charm, put 2 on a deck to test it out. Yeah. Quite charming. Yeah. Wondrous Patch would help you get a Miss Magius going, you know, pretty fast if you need to. You can play like minimum energy sort of thing. This Rotom I want as well. I think this Rotom card is beautiful. You got the Mow, the Oven, the Wash Rotom right there. Like, you know, perfect. That's what I want. I want that Rotom. Someone did pull this at my pre-release. So, chances of me having it in this stack of Phantasmal Flame packs I still have to open from my pre-release are low, but I might have it, you know? And if so, Professor W gets it because he gave us the money to go do the pre-release, and if we pull any Charizards, they're going to them. So, yeah. Oh, nice. Neat. Even the full art I don't think is bad. And the full art of this isn't bad too, with like the circuit board kind of thing behind it. Yeah. 5 to 6 energy to be precise. That's handy indeed. Yeah. I gotta agree. You know? This Yamper is also cute, but I think they removed it from the set. Did they? Or no, I just got an email talking about this. Okay, that's right. Sorry, I had to remember. The Dugong is pretty cool with the Aurora stuff behind it. And the Ludicolo that just loves to dance. So that was the entire set list. Let's see. Shogunin. The Dawn card are so cute and nice ultra rares. Yeah. This looks to be a fun set. Yeah, if you're watching the recording of this, sorry you missed the live, but be sure to comment down below what is your favorite card from this set. Is it going to be Empoleon? Are you on board with Miss Magius? Are you going more of the Mega Sharpedo or Mega Heracross route? I think those are really standout cards from this set. Gengar is just cheating. Keep that in mind. I really feel like Gengar is just cheating. Giving up one less prize is so freaking annoying. I wish it would at least say, accept this Pokemon, right? Like, then I could see some evidence of, okay, you can play around it. But since it doesn't say accept this Pokemon, that means you can't play around it at all. Meaning, even if you knock out Mega Gengar EX, which has 350 HP, so there's no small feat, you still only get 2 prizes. Unless you're not playing EX Pokemon, I guess. That's the only way to play around it, I guess. But yeah. So yeah, that's cheating. But there's some fun things here. Some fun things for Popper. Some fun things for Standard. Shogunium, I want to try the new cards for the Popper and Aceless format. Vertigo Valley, Wondrous Patch, man. So much tools. Yeah, Wondrous Patch is already in PTCGL, so you can start testing with that now, but you do have to wait for Vertigo Valley and the tools. Well, no, not all the tools. The Punk Helmet is already in PTCGL as well, because that's in the Gengar deck. The Wondrous Patch is in the Mega Diancie pack. The Punk Helmet is in the Mega Gengar pack. Neat. Anyways, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you everyone that showed up. I had a lot of fun with chat doing this. If you missed it, I'm sorry, but be sure to check out, you're watching it in the recording, and I still appreciate you very much. I hope you all know that. Especially my members being a Link Hawkins and Phil Across the Pond. I'm pretty sure both of them are still members, and you guys are awesome. So I really appreciate you guys as well. And I think all that I have left to say is until next time.